And this is the first time I also seen online gameplay virtually. I've seen so many simulation where you play on the same ground, right? But this is the first time virtual. It's so interesting. So I to be frank, I actually enjoying this session, seeing how we all play along and give me a perspective of how this will happen in the real world.
I think the game's extremely interesting, and it really brings out the play and the fun.
I think it was a really great tool to bring that out of in-that gameplay as well, which was excellent.
Your ultimate goal here is to find enough Movillenniums to evolve. And the way to do that is through the process of commerce. Each person gets some money to begin with. You have to use this money wisely in order to make more money so that you can mine Movillenniums.
So try to support this person to be able to get the resource so that they can fulfill their offers, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Point taken. Anand, I am harvesting the resources of forest. Just updating you.
Okay.
There's a chance. There's an offer for 1 sheep in 5 weeks and get 300 kronos.
Karthik, are you able to buy the farmland? The plain land,
Yeah.
sorry?
Okay. I tried and I was able to purchase just now one of them towards the bottom. So try for maybe some of them are taken. You have to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at, so I'm supposed to be purchasing Earth. There was only one available on its own. So then there was a couple of other options. But if you look carefully, some of them, so one of my options was to purchase Earth for 20 kronos.
Anyone need any grain or wood or earth?
I need 10 kronos to harvest a plane, if there's anybody who can.
So,
who need 10 kronos?
Yeah, Natasha.
Natasha, okay, I'm going to send you 10 kronos, right? Okay, let me see how.
I can do with 10 kronos as well. Yes, if anybody's got 10 to spare.
Karthik, I've sent to you a ship.
As an impact.
Okay.
Oh, no.
That's the disaster.
Earthquake.
Oh my goodness, guys, this is an earthquake disaster which will last for 2 weeks.
Guys, is anyone having a challenge as well by just clicking on your dedicated resource, but it's putting you in the basket other resources?
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. I think, sorry, I think I made a mistake. That was fish that I had. Sorry.
Okay.
No, it was showing against a sheep, but I think...
Guys, is anyone having rain?
It says there's some ERM devices failed due to supercharged electromagnetic fields.
That will go. That will go.
Yeah.
Mitasha, I sent you 20 kronos. Did you receive it?
Nope, my devices failed due to electromagnetic fields.
Should we send all our remaining kronos to one same person?
I have 0 kronos now.
I need it in 5 days if you can give it to me.
Jean, can I give you grain? I've got grain.
Sure, thank you.
What should I do? Should I sell? Should I sell to you, or how do I do?
Oh, my grain
just disappeared. Okay, don't send to me because I can't make it in time.
What's your name? Your name?
Yes, I do. My name is Jean, but I think don't send to me because it's expired. My offer is expired.
Oh.
Right.
Does anybody have?
I need 50 credits so I can harvest the earth that I've got. If anybody's got any kronos.
Anyone here? Okay, let me see. No, it's okay. I got it.
Okay, guys, who has extra kronos? I need 50, 60, please. I need to start harvesting something.
What's your name?
I
can to you.
Natasha.
Natasha. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we sending everything we've got, so we're not keeping anything?
Nothing. Yes. Send everything you got.
Oh no.
Oh no. Right.
The end of days.
You guys might want to do a little prayer and then listen to this message that's coming in.
Okay.
We were a great people, but our singularity was our tragic law. We collaborated, but our alignment remained superficial. We focused, but our attention became diverted.
Wow, welcome back, guys.
Hey.
What happened?
We've been wiped out.
Do you think communication had a role to play in the strategy breaking down or execution breaking down?
Yes.
Okay. You guys want to talk a little?
In my case, I actually had a head start in terms of having a couple of mines to harvest, but maybe I didn't inform the team earlier that what we should probably be doing now is to be sending any additional chronos that any one of us had to people like me.
There were times where we weren't listening to each other, we're sort of focusing on our own individual play. And that sort of did lead, unfortunately, to some of it. I mean, we had a lot of crops that kept on, we'd lost out on, people needed, and there wasn't that active communication or maybe possibly active listening to take hold of the additional resources that we kept on losing, unfortunately.
I think that's also where disengagement comes in as a participant, because eventually if you look at my last 15-20 minutes, I realized maybe because of the lack of making up in the first 15-20, it would have been a waste of resource to send more and then wait for 4 more weeks.
Natasha, I think that goes into really looking at how organizations engage people as well, right? I mean, when people feel engaged, when they feel like they're contributing, when they feel like they're adding value to the organization's growth and towards their success, they want to do more. They feel more, they're likely to stick around for longer. As opposed to when they're not engaged, when they're just left idle, they feel like they're a waste of space. And in that moment, they start looking to, do other things that could be more meaningful for them.
Whereas some of us, again, were sort of sitting back a little bit more idle, almost sort of felt that we weren't being listened to, perhaps, slightly disengaged, which again comes back to business. So yeah, I think it was a really great tool to bring that out in that gameplay as well, which was excellent.
Well, my thought here is that everyone tried to communicate. I think what we did not do well is that we did not make sure the communication loop closes. Like what you said, right? There's a lot of voice out there, and lack of that funneling the central. Yeah, I felt bad when a lot of people asked something, and they couldn't get it. And also, this is something we learn about working remotely, right? I think here is that when you work face to face, it's much more easier to acknowledge each other. But when we work remotely, it's much more difficult. So the question here is that how do we ensure there's engagement when people are on remote side? I think there's something that we can learn from here.
Just one thing I noticed in terms of when you put that game aspect in there, that changes. No matter what our even if we had come up with a proper communication plan, I think it's liken it to an athlete in training or something like that. You have your training plan and you play in a certain way, and then when it goes into a game-based situation, not everything, but some things will change because of that pressure or that want to win or succeed, and whether that's individual, just wanting to get some more chronos.
Collaboration at a micro level, yes, it was working, but collaboration at a larger level in terms of coming up with the Mobilinum and sending over to the facility, I believe that did not work for us.
I think again, it's very much like in organizations where teams are happy to work amongst their teams within their department, so finance, HR, etc., etc., etc. But then when it comes to working with the greater organization is where they struggle to collaborate effectively. So 100%.
There were many instances where we could actually reset, but in order for us to work well in this kind of environment, I think the proper onboarding where we actually set a very clear goal, clear roles, and clear aspects of how we communicate is really, really important.
In a digital world, establishing certain specific terms is even more important so that we all know what we're talking about.
In a virtual world, right, we need to be more specific about things on our agreement and on the mechanisms. A lot of things that we can take it for granted when we have face-to-face, but not in digital world, right? And then I agree with Jin. This is the first time I also seen online gameplay virtually. I've seen so many simulation where you play on the same ground, right? But this is the first time virtual. It's so interesting. So to be frank, I actually enjoying this session, seeing how we all play along and give me a perspective of how this will happen in the real world.
But it's true that I think not all components have been evaluated upfront. It's true that when we saw live during the game that we couldn't follow the agreed plan of sticking to specific resources, we should have maybe taken a few minutes to rethink the plan.
Let me share a couple of things from my from my experience. I think the game's extremely interesting, and it really brings out the play and the fun part of our being. I think that from a point of view of running this for workshops, etc., there are several decision points at a planning stage, while we are playing the game stage. Do we do course correction? So there are lots of variables and lots of decision points. Makes it really interesting to kind of show people, for people to show their skills or the lack of it. So I think that was good. I think in terms of how well did we communicate and collaborate, of course it was we as a group, we're working for the first time, so it really shows that it takes a while for us to form some method to our communication and to the madness. So I think I think that was quite apparent. So it will be very interesting to see when you do it with a group where they're used to working together, and when you do it with a group where the dynamics are different. So I think each of those group timing, the game would really come out to be very different. So really interesting stuff.